want to segue into what Matt Corso here brought up with his super chat, and that is that Kenny Omega, MJF, we got a confrontation here today. Now, it's funny because Reg, I will tell you that when I create the little streams for this, I put like a little generic thumbnail that I create just based on what's been announced and what I might be expecting from the show, right?
Right.
When MJF and Kenny Omega had their little face-off, I was like, I updated the thumbnail, and I'm like, this is it. This is going to be the only one I need. I wasn't expecting Ric Flair later on in the show, but so that should kind of tell you how like things were really changing, how newsworthy this episode was. But we got MJF versus Kenny Omega here. So how this all went down is we kind of have to rewind a little bit because we kind of got a lot in this segment. So the show opened up with a promo from MJF. He's calling Adam Cole. Roderick Strong pops up and he tells him that he's here to help him out. MJF's not having it, shoves him and his wheelchair off the set. So then we officially get the match between MJF and Juice Robinson for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Long story short, this was a more violent, bloody match than I was expecting. For some reason, I was expecting a generic ass opening match. I wasn't expecting all of the blood. I wasn't expecting all of the MJF dominated pretty much this entire thing, just beating up on Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson was busted open, getting his head smashed into a steel stairs. And then eventually the whole thing turned around and we did end up seeing MJF get the victory. He once again, now for the 5th year in a row, wins his Dynamite Diamond Ring. After this, we see the Guns attack MJF post-match, and then Roderick and the Kingdom come in to help out MJF, but they're quickly taken out by the Guns. They did very, very little. The Acclaimed come out, and they end up running off Bullet Club Gold. We then get a promo from MJF's opponent for Full Gear, who is Jay White, and Jay White basically tells them to focus on him because he is going to be the one that keeps his Triple B. And we end up getting a whole lot that went down even with just this portion here. We have MJF calling Jay White a dollar store Jack Sparrow looking ass. I thought that was pretty hilarious. And Max Caster, a match is made here because MJF wants a match against Jay White. He doesn't want to wait that much longer, so they're going to do a tag team match. But MJF, oh my gosh, there's 2 matches that are made. I've just mixed them both up. So
there was a lot going on in this segment, Denise.
Yes. All right, rewind. I messed up. All right. The Ass Boys versus MJF is happening, okay,
yes.
At Full Gear. All right. He needs a partner. Max Caster wanted to be that partner. He said no. Then they also made another match. I'll get to that at some point. But the point here is that after all of this, my terrible explanation, we have Kenny Omega who comes out there and he confronts MJF, and as you know, MJF is about to surpass his reign, right? So Kenny Omega wants a shot at not allowing that to happen. And believe it or not, this Saturday, on a Saturday edition of AEW Collision, we are going to be getting the Cleaner versus the Devil for the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega versus MJF. I'm gassed, bro. Look at me. I'm sweating from that. There was a lot in here. This was just like the first 20 minutes of Dynamite. Maybe first 30 minutes. I don't know. What did you think of all of this?
MJF dominated the first quarter of Dynamite here tonight. Everything was about him leading into the show, starting this show, the first part of this show. He interacted with everybody. Okay, Denise, I like this story a lot because at the core of it, it's all these fools are trying to get to MJF and beat him for this world championship. You got Jay White, you got Kenny Omega, you got Samoa Joe, Juice Robinson's in there, Wardlow's coming after him. There's all these people that are saying, yo, at the end of this, I want to be world champion, and I love that. This just kind of felt like a lot. They're trying to get in 4 or 5 stories to us right here in this 30 minutes, and it just felt like at the end of it, it was like, whoa, okay, now what's happening? Like, I'm happy because we get to see Kenny Omega and MJF, but it felt like a lot, right?
It definitely did. I mean, just even trying to recap this whole portion of it, we haven't even gone into the Wardlow part, the
Right.
Samoa Joe part. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But just focusing here really quickly is okay. So you mentioned Wardlow, we mentioned Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe basically had a backstage interaction with Kenny where he said that he would help him out, but only if he would give Samoa Joe a title shot. Then we had the Wardlow portion. Wardlow did a whole little video where he was talking about how he's been at home. He's been depressed because he has seen the man that he beat at Double or Nothing go on to not only become AEW World Champion, but to also headline the biggest show in AEW history at All In. And we've talked about Wardlow a whole lot and his decrease in momentum and all of that. But when you've got, and I'm just going to be real with everybody here, when you've got guys like Kenny Omega and Jay White coming after MJF, I feel bad, but Wardlow's just lumped in there. It's almost like if I'm ranking all of these guys, I'm putting Kenny Omega, Jay White, then I'm putting Samoa Joe, and then I'm putting Wardlow.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. He kind of feels like he falls to the wayside. The good thing is, Denise, is I think the video packages and what he's been doing have gotten people kind of back interested in him. But yeah, as far as like these people going here, he's kind of the least interested I have in seeing him against MJF. I think they're telling a different story than that, which I think is going to save this whole thing. So I think it'll be all right.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, Wardlow behind that
behind the mask. Yeah, and see, even if he is though, I don't care. Actually, take it away from me. I'm actually a little bit pissed. I'm gonna be like, really? We did this whole thing with the mask, and you're going with Wardlow? But it would be great for Wardlow's character, right? But again, when you have him in, and you already have him feuding with Jay White and Kenny Omega and possibly Samoa Joe, it just doesn't rank as high with or without him being the masked guy.
Yeah, I feel you on that, and I feel the same way. I think this story, like, I'd be happy if he lost the belt to Kenny Omega, but I don't think that's going to happen. But this story, yeah, Wardlow kind of falls at the wayside to me.
So let me ask you a question, and I want the chat to answer this as well. So AEW announced a brand new pay-per-view, World's End, for December 30th in Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York.
Right.
Am I going out on a limb here to say that that kind of sort of gives away the results for Full Gear's match?
Long Island. Yeah, I see what you're saying here.
Because you know that I was really behind that Jay White is going to become AEW World Champion train. Like, bro, I was freaking driving that train. Like, what noise does a train make again? Hoo hoo. Is it the hoot hoot or choo? Oh, choo choo. Bro, I was in the front of the train going choo choo, man. Sorry, I couldn't remember what sound the train makes. I was leading the freaking choo-choo train for Jay White to win the title.
What sound does a choo-choo at the train?
I forgot.
I can't handle Denise, you guys. What sound does a train make? How do you forget what sound a train makes, Denise?
I got a lot on my mind. My mind has like 1,000 subjects all at once, and there was no room for remembering what sound a train makes. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to get at here is that I don't think Jay White's winning anymore.
Yeah,
and that bums me out because that was my prediction.
Okay, so do you think that leads to Samoa Joe and MJF at the Worlds Collide? No, it's not Worlds Collide. What is it?
World's End.
World's End. I'm gonna keep doing that.
I don't know, but I'm kind of a little bit bummed because I did want to see Jay White win, just because I wanted to see Jay White win. But now I'm kind of thinking like, okay, well, the good thing is that they've already set up all of these other people, right? But also, my other thing is they're giving us MJF, Kenny Omega on AEW Collision. That is a match that it could have happened on a pay-per-view.
At that pay-per-view.
It could have been at World's End. Exactly. Yeah. Is this the right thing to do? Just have it on Collision?
I mean, the story that they're telling with it being Kenny Omega's record is about to come up. Like somebody said this on Twitter a few days or weeks ago. They were like, oh, Kenny Omega should challenge him before at the thing. And he ended up doing it. Tony Khan probably listened to whoever that guy was on that tweet. But yeah, I think with that story being told, it's great. And we just need stuff like this, Denise. We need like randomly MJF's going to defend his world title, and it's going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world, Kenny Omega, and you have to watch Collision to see it. We need some kind of spicy stuff like this. I like it.
So to answer Matt Corso super chat, how do you think the match ends between MJF and Kenny?
I don't know. So some schmaz.
This is what they can do, right? There's two options here. There's two options. One, you have a straightforward match. No, there's three options. All right. So you either have MJF cheating or somehow, however he decides to do it, defeats Kenny Omega. You get a legitimate match here. All right. They deliver what they advertised. Okay. The other option is you have Kenny Omega defeat MJF, and then all of a sudden shit changes and we get Kenny Omega and Jay White at Full Gear. Okay. Then the other option is somehow, some way this match doesn't even happen. Some craziness goes down, or I don't know, it ends abruptly and the match just ends in a weird ass finish. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in order for what the importance of him beating Kenny Omega's record and the legacy, MJF has to beat him clean. Like people are saying in the chat, like in order for him to put the stamp on, like, I did this, I'm the man, I'm better than Kenny Omega, and I beat him clean at the end. To do it, that's the way you got to do it.
Damn. See, the only reason why I didn't want to see MJF defeat Kenny Omega cleanly is I don't want them to not. I also want to see this match at some point headline a pay-per-view.
It can still do that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, hey, did you enjoy that clip that you just saw? That was a clip from my podcast, Speak Now Pro Wrestling. You can go ahead and watch the entire episode by checking out the links in the description box. Until next time, I'm Denise Salcedo, and please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Catch you on the next one.